And here we go. Welcome, everybody, to episode 3 of the Spicy Salsa podcast. If you couldn't tell, I designed a new logo from a really cheap, cheesy website that I thought it was so cheesy that it was awesome. So that's the new logo for now, and I will probably be using that in future episodes. But without further ado, today we will be talking a little bit about Overwatch, the announcement of Persona Q2, and the Persona dancing games, Persona 3 Dancing Moon Night and Persona 5 Dancing Star Night. Jesus, that's a mouthful. We'll be talking a little bit about the Blaz Blue 2.0 update coming, Sonic Mania, and a little bit about some retro Sega franchises. So a lot of gaming on the agenda today. But first, I want to get started by saying thank you to everybody who's watched my previous podcast segment on the announcement of Blaz Blue Cross Tag Battle, which is now currently sitting at 125 views, which is awesome. That's my highest viewed video yet. That's really fucking great. That's cool. I'm really glad that people are watching it, and so thank you for that very much. Also, for anybody who follows my channel, notice that Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels to the Roses is continuing for now. I have some more episodes in the logbook that I recorded from last week. There will be a new one of those uploaded today. I'm trying to think of when, but I don't know. I got a lot of things I'm working on right now. And then also, I'm trying to decide which games I want to play next. Today I'm going to be filming with Josh again. We're probably going to play more Pokemon Coliseum. Hopefully I can do some better things with the microphone, because I think Pokemon Coliseum episodes 1 through 5, which was our first session, they're not doing so hot, and I think it's mostly because the audio quality is just such a turnoff, and I get that. It is. I wouldn't even watch them probably. Shows how much confidence I have, but it's super fun. I'm having a fun time like playing that playthrough and everything, and it's not the content itself, it's just that's a real issue. I'm still trying to figure that out. So bear with me on that one. I'm still working on getting like 2 people and stuff. I've thought about buying like an audio synthesizer or using lav mics and stuff like that. I just haven't figured that one out yet. But anyways, let's get started. We're gonna talk about Overwatch real quick here. Today is actually Summer Games starts. Summer Games 2 starts today. I was gonna upload the full podcast today and then upload the Overwatch segment tomorrow, but since Summer Games starts today, I figured it would be a better time to upload it now. So, well, not right now, obviously. When I'm done filming here, I'm gonna upload that like right away. I'm gonna edit episode, 10 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels to the Roses. So that'll be fun. So a little bit about Summer Games. The information we know so far and going into today, we're obviously getting a lot of new skins. We already know that there's going to be a new Mercy skin, and actually I was just watching a video saying that it might have got leaked from a China website. If that is the Mercy skin, then I would say that it looks alright. It's not my favorite. I think it's a good one, but I'll have to look at it closely too. I didn't get a close look at it. And then just today, well, I don't know if it was today. It was recently, at least. It might have been today. Jeff Kaplan teased that we're also getting a new Sombra skin, which is awesome, because Sombra is one of my favorite characters. Not very good with her yet, but I'm working on it. But just as a character, she's one of my favorite characters. But other than that, the big highlight, or the big, how should I say it, appeal, besides the skins and all the, extra stuff that we get for Summer Games, is Lucio Ball. And one of the most interesting things about this event is that we're supposed to be getting a Lucio Ball like competitive mode today. And apparently, like, at the end of the season or whatever, the top 500 players worldwide. I would assume that means on their respective console or oh god, excuse me, platform. They get like an exclusive spray for Lucio. At least I think it's for Lucio, which is pretty cool. I'm glad they didn't like make it a skin or something, because then people would have such an outcry eventually that they would just have to give it away anyways. So I think that was a good idea. That's neat, and it's good for people who really like Lucio Ball. They're changing a lot of things, or some things with it too. I think that I didn't look into this too hard, but I think they said something like, "Oh, you're the ultimate's different. It works differently now." Because I think last year it, like, sent the ball flying. I can't remember. It's a whole year ago now. But they I think you also can't like boop the ball or something. I don't know. We'll find out later today. I don't remember, honestly. It's all that stuff. But then also one last tidbit on Overwatch here is that this was actually, I'm a little late to the party on this one, but supposedly or not even supposedly, they pretty much confirmed, Junkrat and Roadhog are both getting buffs, and I have to say, two things. I don't play Junkrat often. I think he desperately needed it. He's such a niche pick right now in the competitive meta. I'm trying to think like when I would use Junkrat. He's got all that burst damage, but his ulti just sucks. You know, it does. You can get a decent amount of people if you get it in the right spot, but it's low on health, which is one of the things they said they were gonna probably increase, is the health of his Riptire, and then also the speed, I think, because it is a little slow. It's pretty easy to just shoot and get rid of it. So that's cool. Junkrat's getting some buffs for people who really like Junkrat. He's fun to play as. I don't generally. But somebody I do play as a lot, or at least used to, Roadhog. His buffs sound really good. I think that they're going to be really good for him going into the meta, considering that Roadhog is still going to keep his consistent speed or whatever, that because he got like he didn't get a walking speed boost, but a speed boost in the sense that he can shoot faster now, and he has 5 bullets per clip, 5 shots per clip. That update was a long time ago, but they're keeping that. Hit the table. Keeping that, obviously, and he's also getting a 50% damage resistance when using his healing ability. I can't think of the name of it. When he drinks his jar of whatever the fuck is in there, which is awesome too. Because I used to be a beast with Roadhog, and I loved him. I thought the update to get rid of like he just hooks somebody and kills them like a DPS character or something was a good idea, because he is a tank, but I think they went a little bit too far, and I'm glad to see that they're fixing it. But Blizzard's always on top of Overwatch right now. I mean, they really that was the only like update that I really looked at it and I was like, what are they gonna do to this character? In this case, it was Roadhog. You know, for the most part though, when they nerf and buff characters, I'm like, oh, it makes sense. Or rather, the Roadhog thing made sense, but like I said, they just took it too far. It was just one of those things, and they admitted it too. They admitted that they thought they took it too far. So, but yeah, that's all I got on Overwatch for today. So, real quick, one thing I didn't mention in the intro that we're going to talk about now, probably won't take long to talk about, but I just wanted to bring up the fact that one of my favorite YouTubers, Boogie2988, got his gastric bypass surgery finally, and that's awesome. It seems like, based on his Twitter and whatever else, it seems like he's mostly just been sitting on the couch and trying to play games, getting a lot of sleep, whatever, which is great. But for those of you who don't know, he's been going through this for quite some time, his weight problems and everything, and this was a big thing for him, you know, a big part of his life. He He basically, he was being told by doctors, like, you're gonna die much sooner unless you, like, lose all this weight, and he just couldn't do it. It's been going on for years now, and he finally was just like, I'm just gonna get the gastric bypass surgery. So for anybody who follows his channel, that's, you're probably aware of it, but for those of you who aren't, I highly recommend going and looking at some of his videos where he talks about the surgery, and it's very good to be knowledgeable of that thing. Oftentimes he's talking about how a lot of people tell him it's the easy way out, and he could definitely tell you it is not the easy way out. Trust me and trust him when he says that. He's got a lot of very, very valid points as to why it's not. But I just wanted to bring that up because he is one of the main reasons recently that I was inspired to make a YouTube channel. I'd been sitting on it for a while. I've been wanting to do it, and watching his videos and just realizing, like, if a guy like that could do it, not that he's bad, Boogie's great, but he doesn't make particularly extra creative videos or anything like that. He just has a lot of things to say, good things to say, and he feels like he can change things for the better and stuff. It really inspired me to go on and continue making YouTube videos after I had stopped for a little bit. He's certainly not the most influential YouTuber in my life, but I just wanted to bring whatever little more attention I could bring to that. I get like 20 views a video usually, but even that, if people notice it, and if they didn't notice it before, I highly recommend checking that out and supporting him. He's such a great YouTuber, and yeah, that's all I have to say about Boogie, I suppose. But so next, I want to talk about something a little bit more fun. Actually, I was thinking about making a video on this, but I thought that honestly, I just thought it would take too long, and I wanted to spend more time on my side videos that aren't Let's Plays in the podcast, on right now, Packs of the Past. I'd really like to get episode 1 of that out sometime in the next few months. That one's going to be a long one. It'll take a while, but so I didn't make a video of it, but I wanted to bring it up now because it feels like it's a little bit more prevalent, and that would be Sega, for anybody, once again, who doesn't know, has been really touting and talking about bringing back a lot of their classic franchises. They started the Sega Forever campaign, basically, and they are starting to release, I think it's, as of right now, we'll see if this lasts, but as of right now, every 2 weeks, they're releasing a classic Sega game on phones, Android. I would assume iOS has it too. I have an Android though. And right now, what do they got? They got the first Sonic, Shinobi. They just released Revenge of Shinobi, Altered Beast. So classic Sega games. And I wanted to give my top 10 Sega games, Sega franchises that I want to come back. Whether it be in this phone form, or they said they were going to try to bring a lot of them back by 2022. I can't remember the year they said, but I don't know. I don't really have this in a particular order, I suppose. Some I do want more than others, but first we're going to go through the honorable mentions, just because I feel like it's kind of lame to save them for the end, personally. Unless it's, I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're going to go through the honorable mentions. So my honorable mentions are Skies of Arcadia, House of the Dead, and Panzer Dragoon. Now, a couple of these probably deserve to come back more than others. First of all, Skies of Arcadia, I'm not an expert on the subject, but I think it only has one game. It has the Dreamcast one, and then the re-release on GameCube, and I've never that's one. It's in my honorable mentions because I never played it, but I always thought it looked really good. I really want to play it. It's expensive though, and I don't have a Dreamcast currently anymore. I do have a GameCube, obviously. Played Pokemon Coliseum, so of course I have a GameCube, but the GameCube version is like it's even more. It's like going for, I've seen it for like 70, $80 right now. Of course that's complete, but still I don't think it really would matter much, honestly. It's a pretty tough game to find. House of the Dead, that's an honorable mention because I always really like the House of the Dead games. I like their arcade style shooting, but we have had some opportunities at it in recent years. There was one on the PS3. I don't remember what it was called. It was kind of weird, and it didn't. That was a strange game. I don't remember if I liked it or not. Honestly, I did play it, but I would like a little bit more of a return to the original styles of House of the Dead. But it's nothing that I'm personally really itching for. But I do like those. And then Panzer Dragoon. That's probably one that a lot of people would put in the top 3 for their Sega franchises that need to return. Once again, for me personally, I think it looks awesome, but I've never played it. So that one's mostly in honorable mentions just because I feel like it deserves to come back. It seems to have the respect and everything, but for me personally, I don't know what else to say about it. Like, I want to try them. Because there's a couple of them, Panzer Dragoon, Orda, and whatever else. But yeah. So now, if we were gonna go through the top 10, and like I said, in no particular order, I'll give you some ideas of which ones I want more. Let's start with like Afterburner. I feel like Afterburner is one of those Sega franchises that doesn't get a lot of love. I love it. I remember I used to play the arcade cabinet for Afterburner HD Climax or whatever it's called. That's a weird fucking name, kind of generic, whatever. But that game was awesome, and it was 2 players too. That particular version of it. Music's awesome. Love Afterburner. I think they had one. I thought they had one fairly recently, not in the past couple years, but I think we had one on the, I want to say a handheld, maybe it was the DS, like within the past decade, but I just want like a normal, like, oh, this is like a new Afterburner game coming out, even if it was just like porting like HD Climax or something to the console or something. That's one that I definitely want to. Once again, I'd probably put that lower, like near the 10-9 spot, because like I said, I think we've had some, and we might have even had a port. I'm just not aware of it. Plus it is just like a shooter, but still, it's one that I love and one that I want to see. Shinobi. So we did just get the Revenge of Shinobi, like I said, emulator port through the Sega Forever program. But I really want a brand new Shinobi game. It doesn't. That's the other thing about a lot of these. They don't have to be 3D games. Like, make them 2D. Do what you did with Sonic Mania. If Sega did what with like Shinobi, any of these franchises, like what they did with Sonic Mania, that would be perfectly fine by me, and I'm sure perfectly fine by a ton of other people. It might not necessarily work, because the thing with Sonic Mania is they had somebody like Christian Whitehead, a huge fan, to like help make that game and everything. But I say go for it, like give it a shot, because it's probably going to be easier to do that than it would be to make a 3D one, I would imagine. But Shinobi, the last one I can think of was on the 3DS. They had one on the 3DS. I never played that one though. I want another like full-fledged Shinobi game. Doesn't have to be 3D. It could be a 2D Shinobi game. I'd be happy with that as well. Phantasy Star. So Phantasy Star is, I would probably put that somewhere towards the middle. Which, by the way, Shinobi is probably not a little, maybe like 6th, 7th spot. Phantasy Star I'd put just like right in front of that. Now, Phantasy Star has had games recently. I think they had Phantasy Star Online 2. Was that a Japan exclusive? Somebody might have to figure that one out I can't remember. I think it was, but if it's not, it was for a good couple years or so. The last Phantasy Star game that I really played was Phantasy Star. What's it? I did play the first Phantasy Star Universe on PSP, but I didn't own it, so I didn't play it a lot. It was Phantasy Star Universe? Is that the really crappy game? It's a piece of shit. But, regardless, I just think it would be cool to have, like, another MMO, hopefully on consoles and PC, maybe even cross-platform. And Phantasy Star, the style, I've always loved the style. Even though we've had recent Phantasy Star games, I don't feel like they've been justice to the franchise. I would really like a full-fledged, like, do what they do with, like, Monster Hunter. I mean, don't make the combat, like, make it still Phantasy Star, but get the idea. MMO, just a big Phantasy Star MMO that hopefully can carry on for a while. I just think that'd be great. It's been too long since I've had, like, faith in Phantasy Star. Phantasy Star, the PSP ones were good, though. I did like those ones. It's just that, like I said, I think the second one was Japan exclusive. I think it was there when I went to Japan. It was there, but I never bought it. Knights. Now, Knights is high on my list for a different reason. Not because I really, really want a Knights game, although, I mean, I do. It's because, in fact, once again, I'd probably put Knights around 4. I'm just going off, my head here in my notes, but I don't have them in an order, like I said. But the reason that I would want Knights to come back is mostly because I never played the original. And that's obviously, like, the best one. Everybody's like, oh, that's what made it. It a thing. Knights a thing. And I played the Wii one, and everybody fucking hates that game. I played it around the time I got my Wii. I don't remember exactly, but I never played the full thing through. I thought it was. See, the thing is, I thought it was fun. I didn't think it was a fantastic game, but I think people had other issues with it, and most of those people were the ones who played the original, and also there were any new fans. Well, that's the thing. They didn't gain any new fans from the Wii one because it just flopped. So, the reason I want another Knights game is because they do have the original on the 360 backwards compatibility now, and I plan on buying it sometime to try it out. But I mostly want another shot at the franchise because I don't feel like, even though I haven't played the original, I feel like I understand people's complaints about the Wii one. Like, I don't feel like I had a good opportunity at that game, or that franchise, and I don't feel like a lot of other people did either, because the Wii one was more accessible to find and purchase and stuff than the Sega Saturn one is. Maybe, like I said, maybe not now, because you've got the ports of the original. They have it on the 360 or the Xbox One or whatever. But for the longest time, when Knights would have had any popularity, it's Sega Saturn games can be hard to find, so not to mention you'd have to have a Saturn, and how many people actually owned one. So that's a franchise that I mostly want it. It's, like I said, around number 4, maybe 3, but probably 4, just for the sake of trying to. I feel like I'm desperate to be reintroduced to that series in a good way. So. Plus, there's only 2. So, I mean, fuck, make another one. Um, Jet Set Radio. Now, Jet Set Radio, well, they had the Jet Grind Radio was the first one, right? And once again, another game series that I don't quite know my history on. This is probably like around 6 or 7-ish for me. I don't quite know the franchise that well. They have the Jet Grind Radio and then Jet Set Radio Future. I don't, and then maybe there was like Jet Set Radio and then Jet Set Radio Future. I don't know. Once again, somebody's gonna have to correct me on that one. I played I don't even know now. Once again, they have one on the Xbox backwards compatibility thing or whatever, and the arcade, the Xbox arcade. And I played that one. So whatever that one is, I played it and I really liked it. But this is kind of why it's 7 is because, or 7 or 6, just like I said, because I thought it was really good, but it's not one of my favorite Sega franchises. It's really underrated, well, or was. Now it kind of has a cult following, so take that as you will, I guess. But, the reason that I'd put it a little lower, well, higher, 7, but lower on 1 being the best, is just because I don't, what is it? I guess it's just that, like I said, it's just not one of my favorite Sega games. There are just others that I want more than it. And even though we haven't, okay, I should, instead of explaining why it's not towards number 1, I should actually explain why it's not towards 10. Because for me, 10 around, like I said, the Afterburner would be around there. That would suggest that I don't really want it as much as, the others or whatever. But I think that with Jet Set Radio, I feel like people deserve or should get another one. I don't want to say deserve, but it's been a while for one of those to come out, I guess. That's all there is to it. I don't know why that was so hard for me to explain, but yeah, it's just been so long. So for me personally, I'm not like anticipating a Jet Set Radio, but I do think that it should come out before some of these other ones. Maybe if I even want it more. Like, I'd rather have an Afterburner, but I would actually like to see more Sega fans happy than me just getting the Afterburner game, and I feel like Jet Set Radio's. So that's what's putting it a little lower, as in towards number 1 on my list. Now we've got Altered Beast, which I would probably put around, I'm going to do these all at once. Altered Beast, I'd probably put around 5 or 6-ish. I know I gave like a 5 to one of them and a 7 to whatever. But, and then towards the top 3, I would put Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, and the Sonic Sega All-Stars, whatever you want. But for me personally, I kind of want the racing game back. So let's start with Altered Beast. So for Altered Beast, it's a game that I played in my childhood quite frequently. I always loved it. It's not as good as Streets of Rage or Golden Axe in my opinion. But it is really fun, and I always thought not only the reason Altered Beast I'd put around the mid on my rank is because not only should it have like a new game in the modern era, but even the original one had problems that they could have made like an Altered Beast 2 and improved upon the original. So like I said, that would actually be a good franchise for Sega to like do the Sonic Mania treatment, so to speak, and try to create a sequel or something. Just, there might be like a sequel to Altered Beast or something, but the first one has some issues. I think Altered Beast, the game itself, has very mixed opinions among the gaming community, and I would like Sega to take the chance to try to you don't want mixed opinions as a developer. You want over or mostly positive. I want them to try to take Altered Beast and make it mostly positive in opinions, or just mostly seen as mostly positive. They don't necessarily have to care about their opinions, but they want it to be a more respectable franchise. How about that? Now going on. Oh, shit. I missed one. Around this would be around 4 or something, and then we'll move on to the Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Sonic Racing, or whatever. Space Channel 5. I do want another Space Channel 5. That's one. Space Channel 5 Part 2, I played it well, actually, I've never played the full game, I don't think. I've only played the demo, but I played it a fucking lot because I loved the demo. I thought it was such a unique game. Now, is it unique? Well, it might... They'd have to, like, make it a little more complex, I think. It's not exactly something that... I don't know, would you say... Leave this in the comments section. Would you say Space Channel 5 holds up? Because it's kind of strange, because it is just kind of a button presser, but it's still kind of unique, and there's not a lot of games like it, I guess. That's a tough one. But regardless, that's another one we got in the Sega Arcade, and they actually released it in the Sega Dreamcast collection. Or did I say the Sega Arcade? The Xbox Arcade, whatever. You get the idea. So, we only got Part 2, though, first of all, but that one only has 2 games, right? Space Channel 5 and Space Channel 5 Part 2. And I really liked the gameplay to that game. I was surprised, because I was like, I don't know, it looks kind of, to be honest, girly, and like, no, that game's awesome. Space Channel 5 is a fun game. Also, Michael Jackson is in it. Kind of. So, I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say about Space Channel 5. I almost forgot to mention it. So now moving on, we'll go Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, and Sonic Racing. Not really in a particular order. Now Golden Axe, the last thing I can I'm pretty sure the last Golden Axe game they made was that really fucking horrible PS3. I don't think it was on 360, but PS3 Golden Axe game with the girl. I can't remember her name, but it doesn't matter. It was fucking atrocious, and that's the last memory people have of Golden Axe, and it's just like, oh my god, I can't believe that exists. I think Golden Axe is more of the I don't know. That's another opinion to leave in the comments section. What is more of a travesty to its own franchise? Golden Axe on the PS3 or Sonic 06? Because the thing with Sonic 06, well, it might be a shittier game. That's tough, but the thing with Sonic 06 is that it's a lot of the Sonic tropes are still kind of there. Golden Axe is just, it's fucking like, what is this? Like, why is this, it barely, I don't even know if I want to say it represents Golden Axe. It's hard to, I mean, obviously it does because it bears the name, but just in theme and stuff, it's kind of like how, what's it called? Castlevania, the Lords of Shadows or whatever. It's like, it doesn't feel like Castlevania. Yeah, Golden Axe doesn't feel like Castlevania, and it's a fucking atrocious game. Lords of Shadows not great. It's okay, but at least it's not as bad as that game. So, Golden Axe, yeah, that's another one I played as a kid, a shit ton. Loved Golden Axe. Loved the 3 characters from the original. I think they had other, I can't remember if Golden Axe 2 and 3 had. I mostly played the first one. Awesome music, just fucking amazing. And I think they had a PS2 one, but it doesn't matter. The point is, it's been a while. The last one that did come out was fucking atrocious, and it's one of my favorite Sega franchises. If there's anything that I feel like they should and could salvage, it's Golden Axe. And moving on, a lot of these opinions kind of carry over to Streets of Rage, with the exception of the shitty game part. I don't know when the last Streets of Rage game was made. Did they only make it 1, 2, and 3? I don't think there's any, like, remakes on any consoles or something like that. There might be. it was only recently that I found out they did that Golden Axe game on the PS2, so maybe there is, I don't know. But Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3 are all awesome, regardless. Once again, one of my favorite Sega franchises from when I was a kid. I played a shit ton of Streets of Rage 1. Awesome music. Like I said, I'm kind of echoing the Golden Axe thing here, so I don't have much to say. Because it's kind of the same deal. Yeah, that's another one I think they should take a shot at. Either one of those, I'd be happy. I mean, they're very similar. I mean, they're both beat 'em ups. 3 characters. Streets of Rage 2 had 4 characters to choose from. Awesome music, stages, special ability that like wipes the screen out. Very similar, but at the same time, the theme is so different and stuff, and you could do a lot more, I think, nowadays, than you could do back then. So finally, as I mentioned before, Sonic and Sega All-Stars blank, because they've made like the Sega All-Stars Tennis, which was and then they had like the Sega Superstars and the iToy, which I never played. But Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing is my favorite like kart racer game. I like it more than Mario Kart, personally. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I think it's just more competitive and more balanced and nothing stupid like the Blue Turtle Shells. They have All-Stars, which is like the closest thing to quote-unquote like a bullshit power-up, but even the All-Stars aren't that bad. Some of them take skill, some of them are better than others, but the thing is that if there's a character that has a really good all-star, they have to sacrifice their car's speed or their power, so it makes up for it. So, I don't know. I don't need to go on a tangent as to why I think that's better than Mario Kart. I already did that in my Sonic and Sega All-Stars Let's Play, which was my first... No, that was my second one, after Sonic CD. But, it seemed like that was a franchise I was like, man, they could make a ton of these. And it would be fine. Just add new tracks and stuff. That's what Mario Kart does, and they're fine. Nobody's like, oh, Mario Kart's different every single time. And it's like, barely. It's not fucking, it's like, I love Mario Kart, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad because of that, but I'm just saying that Sonic could have done the same thing. But for some reason, they stopped after Transformed, and I don't know why. So many things I love about that game. A lot of glitches. Not nearly as polished as Mario Kart, but not every developer... I mean, who is as polished as Nintendo? Come on, they're so polished. I know that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that Team Sumo, who was the developers, couldn't have polished it more, but it doesn't matter to me, really. I mean, it's just such a well-made game that... Fuck. Anyways, those are my top 10 Sega games that I want Sega to try to revive. There's probably some that I'm kind of missing here. I would have said Puyo Puyo, but they just released a new one of those. Bayonetta, but that's the thing, it's not really a Sega franchise anymore. The first one is, second one is Nintendo's now, so I'm assuming that the third one will probably be. So, anyways, that is my top 10 Sega franchises in no particular order, but kind of gave you an order that I want to be revived through this whole Sega Forever initiative they're going through. Now, let's talk real quick about Blaz Blue Central Fiction 2.0, which I don't have a whole lot to say on it, but I did feel like I should mention it because I've been talking about how much I love Blaz Blue and stuff, so I do want to throw this out there. It just came out in Japan on the arcade machines. Oh, and it's an update, by the way, for Blaz Blue Central Fiction. It sounds to me like instead of making like they would always do the Super Street Fighter thing where Blaz Blue would always be like Blaz Blue Continuum Shift Extend, Chrono Phantasma Extend, and they would always do that extra like version or whatever. It sounds like to me instead of doing a Central Fiction Extend, they're just doing this free update, Central Fiction 2.0, which I think is awesome if it is a replacement for the Extend, because it is cool to get the Extend games, but it's not necessary. It's such a money thing, now to do like Super Street Fighter 4. Like you don't have to do Super Street Fighter 4 should be nothing more than a free update. Uh I'm not picking on Street Fighter. All the fighting game franchises, it seems like it does it. The only one I can think of off the top of my head that doesn't is Tekken. Like we never got like a Super Tekken. Yeah, are there any others? It doesn't matter, I guess. Persona 4 didn't do it, but once again, that's just Blaz Blue's developers, so Anyways, so I'm glad it's a free update. Jubei's coming to the game, the cat, one of the 6 heroes, finally. I thought he was gonna show up. I thought they were gonna put him in Chrono Phantasma, but they didn't. So I was surprised when he wasn't in there, and he's become a meme machine. Because of it. So he's finally in there. He's playable in Japan right now on the arcade machines. We don't know when we're getting it on consoles, and I don't know if that'll be different in release date from the Japanese consoles from American. Probably not. The only thing that I really just, oh god, it still pisses me off, but whatever. Gotta get over it. I wish that part of this update was English voice acting, because that was the one thing that really irked me about Central Fiction, is the whole English voice acting debacle. And for those of you who don't know, or you just played Blaz Blue Central Fiction and realized, hey, there's no English voice actors, what happened? Basically, before the game came out, they announced there won't be English voice actors. There was a short time period before it came out. It felt very intentional. It felt very sleazy on Axie's part, and they were saying, well, nobody, really will. I can't remember word for word, so I don't want to like twist their words, but I remember some things like them saying like, well, people don't really buy it just for the English voice actors. Or people will buy it even if it's just Japanese voice actors, anyways. But if there is an outcry for English voice actors, we will see about putting them in. And there was an outcry, a very big outcry. I know there's a lot of people who are like, well, the Japanese are better, it doesn't matter. And it's like, it does matter. Because for somebody like, me, for example, who's been playing with English voice actors throughout all the Blaz Blue games, whether you love them or hate them, that there is a big part of the fan base who likes and listens to the English voice cast of Blaz Blue, and I actually think they're pretty good. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them for a fighting game, a Japanese fighting game. So, and they had like, who was it? I think it was the voice actor for Ragna, one of the main characters. He came out and he was all, he was like, oh yeah, well, I've talked to a lot of these voice actors. We'll totally do it if they call us, but they won't do it or whatever. And I honestly think the number one reason was just money. They didn't want to pay them the money, which sucks ass. And there was a whole petition. I signed the petition. There's probably a couple, but there was one major one on, change.org, which I don't know how effective that really is. It was the first petition I ever signed, but it had couple, what was it at? It was, it had tens of, oh man, I don't want to twist that either. A very large amount of people. Let's just go with that. If you think about how many people buy the Blaz Blue game, which is probably, a little less than 1 million, maybe in America, I don't know. And, probably in the hundreds of thousands of people. It was probably a good maybe 10% of people who play Blaz Blue. Probably more. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been so long since I looked at that because that was like before Central Fiction came out. But I wish they were adding that to this update. That was my whole point in bringing that up. I don't think they are. They never said anything about that. I'm just throwing this out there. I do wish that was something they would do, but anyways, that's all I got on that. Still disappointing to this day that the final Blaz Blue game won't have English voice acting. Maybe they'll re-release it someday with it. Who knows? Now, on our next subject here, speaking of Japanese games and one of possibly my favorite franchise of all time, Persona, just had a few announcements the other day. Once again, not a whole lot to say about this, like the Blaz Blue thing, but I just want to throw this out there anyways. Persona Q2 was announced, which is awesome, because Persona Q is awesome. Not my favorite Persona game, but some of my favorite music in a Persona game. The battle theme and the theme song. I really like the battle theme. One of my favorite Persona songs. So Persona Q2 is coming. It's going to feature Persona 5 characters for sure. We already know that just based on the logo for Persona 2. I don't know if this is a crossover game. A lot of websites were like, oh, we can't wait to see like Mitsuru talk to Makoto and stuff. And it's like, is it a crossover game this time? Or is it just going to be Persona? Because that'd be kind of hard to pull off. You do Persona 3, 4, and 5? Like, Jesus. We'll find out more about that. I mean, that was probably the main appeal of Persona Q, but when people actually found out like it's a really good game, then the crossover stuff, does it matter if they cross over? They could just have a really good story. I don't know. It's just a really good game. And then they right after that, they announced Persona. Got to get the names right here. I keep flip-flopping them. Persona 3 Dancing Moon Knight and Persona 5 Dancing Star Knight. Now, I think these are supposed to come out on the same day, like a Pokemon thing. Which I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I'll probably play Persona 3's first and then Persona 5, if that's the case. I'm actually kind of hoping they have like a special edition bundle that comes with both of them. That would be awesome. But these are, well, I don't know chronologically, but essentially sequels to Persona 4 Dancing All Night, which is a very good game, by the way. When that game was announced, everyone laughed and they're like, haha, they're just milking this series. No, I'm not going to buy this one. Well, I buy every Persona game that comes out now, and I was skeptical, not of the gameplay. The gameplay looked fun. I was skeptical. I was like, the story's going to be cheesy, and it is a little. It's pretty good. I actually like the story to this game more than Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. And Persona 4 Arena, the first one, had a good story. The second one was good, but it didn't close up a lot of things I wanted it to, or at least I didn't think it was as impressive as I was expecting it to be. Persona 4 Dancing All Night impressed me. The story actually impressed me. It's good. Play that if you haven't. I know it's only on Vita, which sucks for people who don't have a Vita, but try to play that. If you're a fan of the Persona music or the franchise or whatever, it's good. The story is good. Go play it. Anyways. So yeah, we're getting a Persona 3 Dancing Moon Knight and Persona 5 Dancing Star Knight. So my reaction the first time, like I just said, for Persona 4 Dancing All Night was like, this is kind of weird. This is getting a little, they're milking this franchise. And they are. It is. But as long as they're good, I really don't care. But this time around, I'm actually really looking forward to these. Like, I thought they look really good. And I hope the story for both of them is really good. And I wonder if they're going to, like, expand on the Persona 3 story at all. I mean, the Persona 4 Dancing All Night story, by expand, I mean, is it required? No. But the Persona 4 Dancing All Night story does technically expand. So I wonder if they're going to do that with these two, which means I need to hurry up and beat Persona 5, which I've been working on. I just haven't had a lot of time, but that's my quote-unquote free time game right now is Persona 5. And I already beat Persona 3. And then Persona Q, I need to beat that so that when I don't think if Persona Q2 probably, well, I don't know, it might not have anything to do with the first one, but I still want to beat it anyways before it comes out. So I've been working on that. That's my other free time game. That one's a little harder though. Persona Q is probably the hardest Persona game I've played, and I mean, unless you count like the higher difficulties. But then again, Persona Q has a hard mode as well. Anyways, yeah, that's all I got in Persona. I'm really excited for those. Play Dancing All Night. If you haven't, if you were skeptical at first, go play it. All right. So we are going to wrap up the podcast here with one more topic. I saved this specifically for last because it's the closest game coming out soon. Sonic Mania. I haven't talked about it because when my YouTube channel was made, it was announced probably, actually, no, it was announced a good 6 or 7 months before I made my YouTube channel, and I'm a huge Sonic fan. I always, well, ever since I played Persona 3, my number one franchise has always been a toss-up between the Sonic franchise and Persona franchise in terms of gaming, so that's how important, this is, I'm just trying to give you an idea of, like, how much of a Sonic fan I am, But, I haven't talked about Sonic Mania. It comes out next week. It's in 7 days. Well, by the time I upload this video, it probably will just about be out. I think I'll be uploading this the day before. So, if you're watching this the day before it comes out, hi. Yeah, just real quick, because, I mean, everybody's heard everything, everybody said anything, but just from another Sonic fan, if anybody wants to hear this, I just thought I'd give my thoughts. This game looks amazing. You've got Christian Whitehead on board. T. Lopes is doing the music. I hadn't heard of them before this, but the music sounds phenomenal. So phenomenal that I bought the vinyl of I bought the vinyl before it came, the music even is coming out, because if you don't know, there's this website called Datadisc, and Datadiscs releases official Sega vinyls of Sega games, and they decided to do a special Sonic Mania one, with like a limited edition and everything, and oh god, that's gonna be so cool. But anyways, so yeah, they had a Sonic Mania vinyl. I don't know if it's still available. If it is, I highly recommend picking that up. Even if you don't have a record player, just get it. Just get it, and then someday get a record player, because the music in this game sounds awesome. The animations look so amazing. When they released that trailer that had the animations, and then, like, he pressed the elevator button, which, by the way, says Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles. Notice how they didn't include Sonic 4, which I thought was funny. And I think this game takes place before CD, which is why that wasn't there, from what I understand. Where was it? Oh, when he hit the button, though, and the thing turned to color, I was like, oh, if this game has, like, animated cutscenes of some sort, that'll be awesome. I mean, regardless, even if it's just like Sonic CD, where it has an opening animation and then an animation when you beat the game or whatever, that's still gonna be fucking awesome. Obviously, we know you can play as Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails. A lot of this you've probably heard. The levels look fantastic, even though, like, we've got the new level. Studiopolis looks amazing. They had that Western level, that looks good. But even the levels, like, when they said, like, oh, about 60% of the game is going to be remakes of old levels, and 40% about is going to be new levels. I, as many other people, were like, really? Because I kind of, Studiopolis looks so good, I kind of just want to see new levels, for the most part. And people were complaining, oh, we're getting Green Hill Zone again. I didn't really complain about that, but I was with people on the whole, like, oh, they should just try new levels, because Studiopolis was so promising. But I will say that for the old levels, the first one that really impressed me was Chemical Plant Zone. When they showed, like, Act 2 is, like, the chemicals, like, I can't remember what happens, they get, like, frozen, and you can, like, bounce off of them, and if the elements to the stage changes, to me, I feel like that's more important than the level itself. So even though it would be nice to have the theme change, they're doing, like, they're not just, like, little different things. They are really changing these stages, like, full-fledged remakes to these stages, and I think it's fucking awesome. So whatever skepticism I had, it's for the old level thing, it's mostly gone. Like I said, I still want to see new levels, but I don't know. We don't even know how many levels are in the game, so And I just wanted to announce here and now that I will be doing a Let's Play of Sonic Mania for sure. My first game was Sonic CD. I have to, and it looks amazing. I've been anticipating this for so long. I'm also going to do Sonic Forces when it comes out, but we'll get to that another day. Now, Sonic Mania comes out on a Tuesday. I'm talking so fast because I'm super excited for this. It comes out on a Tuesday, but I usually film Mondays. So that does pose a bit of a problem. I'm going to be late to the party. A lot of other people will have their Let's Plays up, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. I'll give my opinions on the game and everything. I mean, it's gonna be positive. I just don't see how that could be a bad game at this point. That would be a big surprise if it was. But yeah, I guess I just don't have a whole lot else to say. I did want to say that yes, I'm gonna do a Let's Play of that when it comes out, and you know, I haven't decided if I want to upload it after I'm done uploading the Yu-Gi-Oh episodes and whatever I film today, because I'm gonna film today as well. I'm probably gonna film more Pokemon Coliseum, and then I'll probably film I don't know, something else. I was thinking Naruto Rise of a Ninja, but yeah, basically I will upload that. Maybe what I'll do is upload a couple episodes. Like I'll do 2 Let's Plays a day just for a couple days, and then I'll continue the Sonic Mania Let's Plays, or like I'll continue uploading them when I'm done uploading everything else, because I like to go in order just for continuity's sake. But yeah, so that'll be coming. If they do really good, then I'll just keep uploading. Oh, fuck. I mean, it looks so awesome. I can't wait. I know a lot of you Sonic fans can't wait. But anyways, that's the podcast for the week. We went through a lot of stuff this time. But yeah, Sonic Mania, God. So many good games coming out for me personally, for the franchises I really like. Let me know in the comments, like, what Sega games, by the way, that you want to come back. About any of these things, really. What Sega games do you want to come back? What do you think of the Persona game announcements? Blaz Blue, and you tell me about the English voice acting thing. What did you all think of that when it happened? What do you all think of it now that it's kind of said and done? Yeah, and so yeah, I guess that's all I got. But yeah, totally. So let me know what you all think about Sonic Mania. Let me know what you think about it after it comes out. You can watch the Let's Play whenever I get that uploaded. It will be a little later than everyone else's, so my channel, they will suffer for that, but what do you do? It's just the way my schedule works. So thank you everybody for watching. I'm trying to add more and more and do better things with the podcast. I also have to mention real quick before I go that my Blaz Blue segment from... Oh wait, I already mentioned that, didn't I? The Blaz Blue segment from the beginning of the last one had 125 views. Thank you very much again for that. That was a big surprise to me. I didn't ever expect to get a video that had that many. I guess eventually I was going to get one, but yeah, I just want to start some conversations and everything, so if anybody has anything to say about those games or whatever, please, let me know. Thank you for watching the podcast. That does it for this week. Hopefully, sometime I can get some outro music and maybe some intro music so it's not so bland at the end. Alright, so thank you, everybody. Goodbye, and have a great day, whatever day it is for you.